Hello, this is my review on Zack Snyder's Justice League movie. I give this a 8 out of 10. I like this movie enough. But I have problems with the movie. I don't know why is Smasher Manhunter in this movie. Why is he in this movie, and why does he not help the team in the third act? Raise some questions about that. What was he doing? Maybe Zack Snyder was going to answer that if he ever rebooted the universe. I mean, if he ever continued his universe. Also, I know why Superman has the black costume in the comics. It's because he's weak from this. It's because he's weak. It's explained in this. Death of Superman, where that black costume originates from, basically. But it's not really explained at all here. In fact, he just chooses it pretty randomly out of nowhere. And the content feels not really explain why he choose the black costume Henry Cavill to take on Superman. It's just because I guess it was cool to him. He could use a change, I guess. He's trying something different. It just made me raise questions. Like Martian Manhunter be in this movie and disguising himself as Clark's mom to get Lois Lane out of retirement and off her house and back into the world of the living and back in her life. Living and doing her work and job. Going to work and saying hi to people and not just staying home rotting. Since Clark died, she's been doing that. Since the events of Batman v Superman when Clark died. Oh, and she takes. We see she goes. She sees to take a pregnancy test later in the film, and Bruce congratulates Clark on something. Maybe, just maybe, he's a dad. Can't see yet. Maybe he's the dad. Because that's what the movie hints said, so the cast does a fine job giving all what they're given. Each character in the film. Including the villains like Steppenwolf and Darkseid even. And the parademons, the parademons are pretty creepy. In this kind of film. And in Zack's version of Justice League. The good thing is this movie is rated R, so it doesn't have to hold its punches when it wants to scare the if it wants to go dark sometimes, like when it wants to kill people off, it can go there and show the blood. And, you know, I think it fairly delivers on its rankings, yeah. And this movie's like 4 hours long, and I thought it went by fast, well, instantly, for me. I've seen this whole movie like 5 or 6 times already by now. From beginning, middle to end. The 4-hour runtime of the movie of Zack Snyder's Justice League so far. Only seen like 6 times so far, I think. From beginning to end. Yeah, I enjoyed every minute of it. Of every frame, screen time. I also really enjoy the story of them showing how Barry sees the world in his Speed Force. When he sees people in danger, and he can see people in danger before they arrive, because he can see things so quickly and notice things and think really fast on his toes. And he sees this girl that he likes. Now, we don't know what her name is in the movie, but we, as if you're fans of the Flash show thing, it is who you think it is. Iris West. He saves Barry. And Cyborg gets a pretty backstory also. Through visuals, we see his backstory play out. How his father was late for his game, didn't show up to his game, but mother did. You don't have resources for both parents. His father just never shows up ever even once. For any of the games, like apparently is talked upon during this brief conversation before him and his mother ends up in a horrific car accident, killing the mother and permanently, almost permanently ending Victor. But due to the power of the mother box, is technology, it saved Victor's life, making him to Cyborg, a superhero Cyborg. Well, he doesn't go by Cyborg in this Snyder'S. He goes by Victor. Anyway, these mother boxes are things that Steppenwolves are looking for, and there's like 3 of them total. Mother boxes, they're all called mother boxes. And this guy Darkseid he works for, called Darkseid. But he's been outcasted by Darkseid because of his treason from earlier back. Trying to betray Darkseid and overthrow him. Basically, trying to turn his back on Darkseid and betray him. So crap. So he has to. So he owns like him like multiple planets to conquer. A ridiculous number. In the name of Darkseid's name, and then his debt will be paid and he will be redeemed. But then things changed. He gets a visit from Darkseid himself. He says if you're looking for redemption, where you're looking for, so he basically tells Steppenwolf that says he will get redemption if he cannot fuck this up and have the mother boxes synchronized. And have it go off. And have the Justice League lose. And doom the world. And that happens, so it does. This happens once the Justice League assemble to team up, fighting, kicking ass together. I well, actually, no. Superman's kicking ass. Is kicking ass in his new black suit, doing most of the heavy lifting, kicking ass. And after he saves the cyborg from and the rest of the Justice League from getting murdered after taking a visit from Alfred and getting his solo and getting superpower from the sun. After getting resurrected with one of the mud boxes from the gamers back from the dead, and flying off back to his home where his mother used to live before she sold her house earlier in the movie because she couldn't pay her debt, her pills were behind, and she couldn't afford a place to live, anymore, live there. So blah blah blah. So she had sold the place in the farmhouse. This is where Lois Lane and Clark arrive after Clark stops trying to kill the entire Justice League because he doesn't remember who he is. So he's like going really killing trying to attack everybody and kill them in his sight. And he stops once he sees Lois and remembers her, and that seems to calm him down and brings them to the house that he used to live at, and then he remembered he also liked living there too, on the farm besides his mother. Growing up, when he was a kid. Which is a nice, sweet moment. Henry Cavill was the best part of the Snyder cut of a character, I thought. My favorite character is Henry Cavill in this movie as Superman. And I like the fact that the movie opens up with Superman getting murdered by Doomsday brutally, and his scream in pain and agony of the last final moments before he dies. It can be heard across the entire globe. On a global scale. It can hear around different parts of the world hear it. The last final moments of Superman screaming in agony before he dies. After he's murdered, after he gets stabbed by Doomsday. Really bad. This puts Lois in a depressed state of mind, and Bruce as well in a guilty stage of mind. Because he was wrong about Clark and misjudged him in the events of Batman v Superman, because he was a dick to Clark. Trying to kill him and see him as a target. Which he was. A dick. Bruce was. Rightfully so. I mean, wrongfully so. Jeez, rightfully so, he was definitely a dick. Bruce Wayne was. And the events of Batman v Superman trying to kill Superman. The Man of Steel. So that guilt carries over to the events of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and dealing with that, and the presence of the world of missing Superman is definitely feels present and center until he returns, until they get the idea of how to do it, and they all a little nervous, but they know this is kind of probably the only way to beat Steppenwolf. Because they need another team member. And that's Superman, so they bring him back from the dead. With one of the mother boxes, only for Steppenwolf to take off with the second mother box. Now I just need to find the mother box at the that the mother boxes explain flashbacks and briefly, well, not briefly, but first is like an epic monologue, basically, through visual storytelling, and explain that these warriors of heroes faced Darkseid before he became the really powerful mighty Darkseid he was. He sought to conquer the planet Earth and take control of the anti-life equation, and that's carved in the center of the Earth. Somewhere in the center is carved in the center of the Earth, planet Earth, within the Snyder'S. It's shown through visuals, through Steppenwolf's eyes. We see it through Steppenwolf's eyes, through flashbacks, visual flashbacks. Of the final battle between Darkseid and these age of heroes. Have a team of heroes of men, gods, and all different kinds of creatures. They're basically the OG version of the Justice League before the Justice League formed the Justice League in this movie of the Snyder'S, basically. This team from the Age of Heroes story was in the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie. Oh, and I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman in this movie, and he has a good character flesh out. And I like Willem Dafoe is in this movie, his small role in this movie. He does a pretty good job. And yeah, he gives a solid performance also. Him and Momoa share a really iconic scene together, I say, in my book. It's awesome. And I like how Jason Momoa, Aquaman, doesn't want to help Willem Dafoe at all and just turns him down. And then when Steppenwolf comes to Atlantis and attacks the attacks the Atlanteans that got in the mother box, but outside of Atlantis in this Snyder'S universe. Within the universe of the Snyder'S of this movie. I was referring to, by the way, the whole time. It's a little cold, chilly out here, so I'm trying to catch my breath. So Steppenwolf gets them mother box gotten by the Atlantis and slaughters all the Atlanteans except for Mira, played by yeah, honestly, I have trouble saying the person's last. I have troubles. I had trouble remembering the last person's last name. Right now, the person's name right now. You know what? I'm not going to credit everyone in this movie. As it says, so Mira gets saved by Officer Crowley of the Aquaman. Yes, he does go by Aquaman in this movie. Awesome. And he goes toe-to-toe with Steppenwolf in the sea. And Steppenwolf overpowers Aquaman. After Aquaman puts up a pretty good fight, he somehow gets the drop on Aquaman. Overpowers Aquaman. Aquaman unconscious and leaving him to escape with the mud box. The first mud box that he collected. I mean, the second mud box he collected, he collects... Look, he collects the one that was guided by the Atlantis. Either the first one or the second one he collects in the movie. And which Steppenwolf makes us awesome. I like the scene when he made the fight scene between Steppenwolf and the Amazon. This movie when he first appears to the Amazons and reveals himself and makes the epic villain saying he's coming to bathe in your fear, Amazons. And they just like give this epic line saying they have no fear and just go, just attack him. And this leads to this really epic fight between the Amazons and the Steppenwolf, and Steppenwolf coming on top and getting the first mother box guided by the Atlanteans. I mean, the Amazons. Guided by the Amazons, then he goes to the ones guided by the Atlanteans. And he gets the second one after killing this Atlantean, and basically with this little purple gadget thing that looks like a star, but it's meant to. I know it's a reference to. I know it's supposed to be Snyder's version of Starro. Okay? I know that, okay? But it's not really explain what it is in the final content of the movie, so or it says what it is, so yeah, so it can be probably a little confusing for non-comic fans. This movie probably can be certain things like that when it's not explained. That's all I want to put out there. This movie is weird, and it takes itself seriously, and it is awesome and pretty cool, but it has its problems. It's a flawed movie to me. That's why I give it 8 out of 10, my final verdict for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I just have too many problems with not give it an 8 out of 10, or to give, if one trying to say, I can't give anything other than an 8 out of 10. This movie, because it's